Hey guys, this is Apple Gamer 24/7. I'm here to give you guys a iPhone 5 rumor roundup video today. In this video, I'm basically going to go over the most relevant rumors regarding the iPhone 5 that should come out about a month from now, actually. It's just about a month from the proposed keynote date. So without any further ado, let's get started. So the first thing I do want to talk about is the new design. Now, this design is pretty much going to be brand new. It's not going to be the same as the iPhone 4 and 4S. It's going to be totally different. It's supposed to be taller, which is supposed to be good because it's going to have a 4-inch display, which is going to be awesome. It's going to be a nice addition to have because a lot of Android phones have it. And the 3.5-inch screen, after playing with some Android phones, either in the store or just other people's, just the screen just looks tiny. So I can't wait to have a 4-inch screen on the iPhone. A new dock connector is also going to be added. It's going to be a 9-pin dock connector, which is going to be smaller. People have been saying online that it's supposed to be the size of a mini USB or a micro USB port. So if you know what that looks like, it's just going to be that size. And what's good about this is that it's smaller, so Apple can add more features into their products, such as better antennas, more batteries, just basic stuff to make their products better. So this 9-pin dock connector is going to be a welcomed addition. And if you look at the 30-pin connector, just for wondering if you look at the 30-pin connector, take it out of like an iPhone or iPad. It does take up a considerable amount of room, and this new 9-pin dock connector, like I said before, will minimize that space and hopefully add some new features into Apple's devices later on. The pin is supposed to the new dock connector is supposed to be added to the not only the iPhone but the iPad and the iPod Touch as well when those get updated at their respective times. It's got a two-tone back on the the iPhone 5 is going to have a two-tone back. It's going to be like half plastic, half metal, I'm guessing. By judging by some of the pictures I've seen online, I really do like the black model. I really don't like the white because it just doesn't look that good in my opinion. I prefer the black one because the metal and the plastic are blend together, so it looks like all metal design. So I'll put some pictures around there. You probably have been seeing some pictures probably around this video someplace, but I do like the black color and I do like the two-tone metal design. I think that's going to be a pretty cool looking phone once you have it in your hand. In terms of new hardware, we are going to get 4G LTE finally. Apple and the iPhone have been really lacking in the speed department. The technically 4G that you can get is on the iPhone 4S and AT&T because the chipset that they're using for the 4G LTE on AT&T is a HSPA Plus, which is super fast 3G, but it's not technically 4G, even though AT&T says it's 4G. I'm not going to go into it anymore, but this is going to be true 4G LTE, but Verizon can use and Sprint can use, and which is going to be awesome because we're going to get faster speeds, we're going to be able to watch, download things faster, we're going to be watch videos in HD. All around, it's going to be a good experience, and I can't wait to have it because Verizon 3G is really slow, and my mom has a 4G LTE device, and the speeds are just wicked fast on that, so I can't wait to be able to use Verizon's 4G LTE network once the new iPhone comes out. NFC for payment system. I suspect Apple's going to add NFC so they can build in some type of payment system with their retail stores. So if you go into buy an item, you can just tap on a certain sticker or a kiosk or something and pay for an item without waiting for a person to come that works at the Apple store to come and pay for you. You can just tap your phone on this thing, reads your credit card information along with your Apple ID, and you can just pay for it and walk out, which I think is going to be awesome. I would see like that they have to check your receipt though in case somebody would just walk out. I don't think it's gonna be that easy to steal stuff, but I do think NFC is gonna be there for a payment system. Also, if you wanted the scanner things to get information about them, NFC is gonna be there. So NFC is gonna be a welcome addition as well. The new dock connector, like I said, that's gonna be one big thing. Also, the headphone jack is gonna be moved down from the top to the bottom near the dock connector, so that'll be nice. I always liked it on the top for some reason because it was easier to put in my pocket with the headphone jack on the top, but probably will be the same thing as the iPod Touch, like on the bottom. And also there is one prototype design that has the FaceTime HD camera right on the top near the proximity center. I do think it's going to stay where it is next to the speaker grill or answer your calls, so when you're taking a phone call, the camera is blocked, but I don't really see that happening because the proximity sensor and the FaceTime camera might be competing for space. So that's one thing you gotta keep in mind when you watch some of these prototypes come out. Some other many things that are supposed to be coming is a new Nano SIM, if I could talk. a new Nano SIM, which is going to be smaller than the micro SIM, which is good surface space, which Apple can add more batteries, a better processor, stuff like that. So definitely more when you talk about iPhones, the more things you want smaller because the more things you can pack into a phone, which is obvious. So Nano SIMs will be a welcome addition. I'm pretty sure Verizon and AT&T are already cutting down their SIMs so they can fit into this new device pretty soon. In terms of the biggest thing I'm really excited for, and the one thing that's making me buy this phone, if it doesn't come on this phone, I'm going to be very mad, is the 4-inch display. Apple is going to make this iPhone a 4-inch display because, like I said in the beginning, the 3.5-inch screen is just tiny now compared to an iPad or another Android phone. I do like the 4-inch display because you can fit a lot more, but the one thing that comes with a 4-inch display is fragmentation like an Android. Not all the apps are resized to it. But one feature on iOS 6, which is available inside macOS 10 via Cocoa, most of the developers and most of the technical people know what I'm talking about. But basically what this is, it's called audio layout, which means the app can be resizable to fit a certain display. So one app can fit both a 20-inch screen, a 27-inch screen, a 21.5-inch screen, a 13-inch screen. So Apple's really put some time into making apps accessible on all screens. And one thing that's going to be available, and the same features can be available on iOS 6. So developers can use their same 3.5-inch screen. Same with the iPad. If you wanted to run an iPhone app, you could probably run it at its native resolution, but you can also ×2 fills up the screen, but developers will have to take time in rewriting their apps to fit the 4-inch display, which I don't think it would be that difficult because most developers I know love making iOS apps and games because it's so easy to program, it's so easy to resize and do things with. So I don't think developers aren't going to complain that much, but I'm really looking forward to the 4-inch screen. The resolution on this current screen is 640 by 1136. That is the proposed resolution, which is pretty high of a screen. I don't know if that's Retina display. I'm pretty sure that is, but I can't wait to see it in action. It looks going to be nice, and I bet it's going to be well worth the wait. As far as the processor goes, I don't really think Apple's going to introduce a new processor. I think what they do with the iPad, they're going to translate over to the phone. So this will have a A5X chip with quad-core graphics, or it might be just an updated A5X chip with quad-core and quad-core graphics. So whichever way it is, I'm fine with it. I think quad-core phones are just as good as dual-core phones are just as good as quad-core phones. I don't think there's really any quad-core phones yet, but I bet in the next coming years there should be more quad-core phones coming out. But I think the A5X chip is definitely a capable chip to be running this device, and so yeah. That's enough of that. And it's probably got the same camera as the iPhone 4S. I'm perfectly fine with that. I think the 8-megapixel camera inside the iPhone 4S is very well good enough, and I don't think we're going to see 10 or 12 megapixel cameras within 3 years because they're just a bit pricey, and I think Apple wants to keep it at $199 price tag. So I do think it's going to be the same 8-megapixel camera I've been used to for the past year on the iPhone 4S. In terms of software, it's going to be running iOS 6. But this version of iOS 6 is going to be different because this is going to allow for the 4-inch screen to have a 6-row of icons. So basically on your home screen you have 5 individual rows of icons, but then when you get this new iPhone it has a 6th row which you can put more icons onto it, which is basically be the only difference. And plus the native apps will be resized for the 4-inch screen and stuff like that. So basically it'll be running iOS 6 upon launch, just like the iPhone 4, the iPhone 4S, and the iPhone 3GS will when the release date comes at this keynote. So when is it going to be released? Well, the proposed date is September 21st for the actual phone to be launched in the US and other parts of the world. But the keynote date is September 12th. I believe that's either a Thursday or a Wednesday. I'm not really too sure about that, but I think it's one of those days. Actually, one site, The Loop, that's been really good at proposing Apple keynote dates. They were right on WWDC, the iPad, the new iPad keynote dates. They were right about those two, and they said the same thing for September 12th for this one. So I'm thinking the date is going to be September 12th for the iPhone 5, and it should be on AT&T, Verizon, and Sprint in the United States. So yeah, guys, that's basically all the things about the iPhone 5. In case you guys are wondering, I am in the middle of selling my iPhone 4S to pay for this new iPhone 5 because I had to buy it outright, which sucks because it's going to cost a lot more money. But it should be worth it to you guys because I'm going to make tons of videos on it. I'm going to do a review, and I'm going to making sure I cover the screen and everything. So I can't wait to make videos on it. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.